Evening everyone. So my next YouTube, a lot of people requested on my Instagram poll to do my birth story, but I thought I'd do one better and do life after a stillbirth, because a lot of people ask me how I get by because they couldn't imagine doing so, and I think it's really important to speak out about this, especially with like mental health and stuff, and to help them women who aren't as comfortable as talking about the experience if they've had it. So I thought that today would be a decent day to speak about it. It's actually 2 months since the 14th of October, which was my due date. Every year that hits, it's a week later, so it's actually 8 weeks today since I had a stillbirth, and I think it's really important to speak out, help others that don't cope not as easy, but aren't as strong-minded, which is fine, about talking about, you know, day to day it's very different. I always find on a Monday, and I think that's because it happened on a Monday, I always feel a bit down. When I refer to it happened on a Monday, I gave birth to Mia on the 19th of October, which was a Monday. Obviously I went into labour on Sunday the 18th. Sundays don't actually affect me. Mondays, I don't know, I just feel like a bit emotional. Obviously that'll go as the weeks go by. I'm kind of starting to find that life now, because it was so overwhelming, then like 2 days I got home, then it was my birthday, like putting her to rest as well and just sorting everything. It was so overwhelming that I think it's now in just starting to clock what's actually happened. Obviously there's still loads of things ongoing that nobody would know about. Now we're still waiting for the post-mortem results. I also realised that I actually say a lot. It's quite funny. So it's like dealing with it on a daily basis mentally, and then I've got everything else as well going off for the post-mortem. That's like hanging over. I was hoping to go into a new year, you know, fresh start, but it looks like we'll get the results in the new year already. So that makes me very anxious, waiting to know if there are any results. It's 50-50, so we might not even find out. Might not even find out why I had a stillbirth, which will be a completely different closure to not getting any results back. I think other women who have experienced being through the same trauma as me, you know, it's so good to have such a huge support. I've had so many women have actually, I don't know them, but like on Facebook or Instagram, that have messaged me that have had, you know, a stillbirth. Just a lot of them aren't as far gone as I, but you know, they still had one. They can still relate to what I went through, what I'm going through still, and it's amazing because just imagine if I didn't. Imagine if, I don't know why it keeps cutting out. Just imagine if I didn't tell my story, they'd have never reached out to me because they wouldn't have known. And that's why I think it's so important, if you are one of these women that has experienced a stillbirth, there's nothing wrong with speaking out, because you shouldn't make yourself feel alone. My inbox is always open. I get a lot of comfort when women feel they can reach out to me, and I bet it comforts them as well. To think that there's women out there who don't have anyone to speak to, or have any support in a situation like this, it actually breaks my heart. Because there will be women out there that feel that they can't talk about it. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to talk about it, but I can guarantee that every woman will want someone to turn to. And to think, because they're better women that feel they're alone and you're not. Moving on to life after, it's only been 8 weeks, so it's still quite, it's very early. I had to go back to Wales to sit in the house, where also Mia is anyway, because we have our Ashes here with us. I kind of feel like I have to get out of the house sometimes. Because obviously, especially on a Monday if I'm down, I can feel really emotional, and then as soon as I'm away from the house, it kind of brings me up a bit. I mean, to even get out of bed every day is amazing. I bet, there's some women out there that probably wouldn't even leave the house weeks down the line. And that's fine, because everybody copes different. I find that, the first 2 weeks I was an absolute mess, emotionally, mentally. So I found myself up and do what you would normally do. So that I had to. It was the only way I could cope. I have to keep going, have to be occupied. And that's my way. Now, everybody is different. I find doing YouTube, I watched quite a few other ladies that have been through the same thing, and they do YouTube now as well. Now, everybody is different. I find doing YouTube, I watched quite a few other ladies that have been through the same thing, and they do YouTube now as well. It's like a comfort to know that probably women that are viewing your videos probably get comfort from it, because I definitely get comfort from watching other women that have been through it and not telling their story and how they're coping. It's just amazing. A huge support group, like a community. Because you should never ever hide away the fact that you've had a stillbirth. They're still your child at the end of the day, and you have every right to speak about them just because they're not here. So my next YouTube, I think I'll do my birth story, because a lot of women message me because I had an amazing birth, regardless of the circumstance. It was just truly amazing, and I'd do it all over. So yeah, have a good week, everybody.